So we're nearly done. I've got a couple of other things for you to do and a couple of thank yous to make. So before we do that, though, I'd just be really, really grateful if you could just start to think now. Remember we talked at the beginning of the day about these bad bosses and good bosses. Just have a think now about yourself and what's resonated, what you've learnt from today. And I'm just going to ask you, we've had some fantastic answers on our 2050 leadership questions over there. The one on enabling, I know you guys are probably going to have to run off now to the boiling hot tube. But actually the one on enabling actually is about what the things that you think you need to work on in the next few years in order to be kind of match fit for the future. So I'm going to ask you to help us to complete that last question, just as a final thing, and Pascal is going to write them up for us on the poster. So just a couple of seconds to think, what do you think are the things that you need to work on yourself in order to be a truly liberated leader?
I think the scariest thing for me, given that I'm working with very independent businesses, is being rejected. Is my ideas, my desire to lead and to support, not being welcomed, and how do I introduce it in a way and work in a way that we're working as a team that's accepted by everybody.
Okay, so it's actually around overcoming your feeling that actually you might not be that popular or you might be rejected.
Yes,
that
I'm wanting to do this, but they may not see the value.
Yeah. Does anybody else feel like that? Anybody else got that? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. Useful. Anybody else? What are you going to work on? Thanks, Adrian.
For me, it's very much when somebody says, have you got a minute? It's actually putting your stuff down and dedicating that minute or as much time as you possibly can to it, rather than sort of saying, yes, I have, but still looking at your computer or your watch and thinking this is lip service rather than understanding. And I want to be known to be able to do that and have the open door policy, but it's just having the time to get those sort of things in the right order.
Fantastic. So when somebody says, have you got a minute, you've got a minute. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. There's one over here.
When we're thinking about leadership in the future, the words I'm hearing a lot, especially from the companies I work with that are headquarters in America, is humility and vulnerability. So those are the two words I'm going to put out there, but they're talking about that a lot in leaders in the future.
Yeah, how to be humble and yet vulnerable.
And how to do vulnerability as a leader. And that's a really interesting topic.
Yeah.
And when you get cultural bits into that as well, it creates lots of discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I think for me, it was just being the best leader in the home as well as in the business.
Whoa, that's not easy.
And looking at some of those words on the left-hand side and some of those words on the right, and the extent to which sometimes we're left at home and right at work.
Thank you for saying that. I totally get what you're saying there. Anybody else get that? Thank you. Any others? Anybody else? Yep.
This will keep me fit.
So I use the word bravery. So when I'm setting a vision, I want to feel slightly uncomfortable, discomfort myself, and it's how I can bring my team along with me on that vision of being a bit braver, especially given that my consumers are going to be behaving very differently to the way they're behaving now.
Yeah. So bravery, especially with your team in terms of setting vision, especially when the customer is going to be operating or working in a very different way. Lots of things going on in the way we buy Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That does answer our question, our 2050 question, and we've also had a number of the other other contributions to the 2050 questions are really, really helpful. Over the next few months, the Aspire Group is going to be working on how do we go about answering some of those questions, which are all really important questions, because leadership's not going to get easier as we go into the future. And we'd really, really like your help. If you go onto aspire.co.uk, onto 2050 Leadership and click on there, there's a questionnaire, and we would really, really genuinely like your opinions on those questions that are on there. There's not many, it's only about 5 or 6 questions. It'd be really helpful. So thank you for that, that'd be really helpful. Our next, when we launch 2050 Leadership, it will be on the 5th of October at the National Space Centre in Leicester. And we will be delighted to see you there. So if it's okay by you, we will let you know a bit more about that in the future as we go through the summer. I've got some thank yous to make, and I've written a little note actually. So I'm just going to, just give me a sec. So this is the first time the Aspire Group have run something like this. It's not the first time that Ali Stewart & Co have run it, and we have been absolutely thrilled and really grateful to be able to use Ali's team. And I'm just going to call out the team that have been working with us today. So we have got Mandy from Present Savvy. Here she is. Well done, Mandy. Mandy has done all of our slides and pulled them together, which is not an easy job with 8 people all together talking. Zoltan, our photographer, you'll see some of his work later. Where are you? There you are. We've got Bick at the back from Ignite. He's been super, super calm, swapping over mics up and down people's tops, etc. And the team over there from Online Video Solutions, we're going to split the day up into some modules of video, again, which you'll all have access to. So thank you so much for them. Landon Marketing, did anybody get an email or two from us during the course of, yeah? Okay, so Landon Marketing, who ran our marketing email campaign, it's the first time we've done that as well. Any feedback welcome, but we feel like it's certainly filled the room, that's for sure. So we'd like to thank them, and they're not actually here. Pascal. Need I say more? Unbelievable. It's absolutely beautiful, and we'll certainly be doing something with that. Does anybody feel like they'd like a copy of that? Yep, so we'll make sure that we make that happen. And I've just got a couple of things to say personally. I feel absolutely super duper proud of today. I'm particularly proud that this day's worked. You know, it's the first time we've done something like this and sponsored a day on leadership. And I'm really, really proud to see, particularly the guests who've described how it actually embeds in real life with actual real people who make a difference in their teams. So I'm really proud of that. I'm super proud of our speakers, all 4 of our speakers. So please, a big round of applause for them. And an extra big round of applause for the guests that really brought it to life, as I said. Well done. And finally, I'm really, really proud that you lot took a whole day out of massively busy lives to come here and share it with us. So thank you very, very much. Travel safe.